Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. We are talking today about one of your favorite topics, new Instagram features. You know, we love to update these because so many comes out. And the whole goal with this series is to always make sure that you stay up to date and you don't have to go through like 75,000 Instagram posts to kind of understand what's new and what's popping over on Instagram. And like how you could use it to grow your business, of course. Now, before we get started, to those who are already been on the channel for a while, you might notice something new here. We're leveling up the audio quality. You're welcome, Bassem. We got mics, all right?
Finally.
So we decided it was time. Also because we have two other podcasts and because we have a special project that we're working on, even though I hate when people say they have special projects that they're working on and then they don't say what the project is.
Yeah, but this is all in due course.
It's a special offering that we're creating, which you'll see because we'll be in a new location soon, which you guys will see in the new videos. And we wanted to upgrade the mics for that purpose too. We won't continue on too long. Let's jump right into the first Instagram update that you need to know about.
The first new feature is Meta Verified. So this is something that is only being rolled out currently in Australia and New Zealand as of the recording, and it's coming everywhere else soon. And basically it's a very similar thing to the Twitter Blue, where now users can pay for verification. And if you've seen our verification videos, I think it's the second most viewed video on our channel, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So a lot of you are very excited about verification. So hopefully this will kill some of your anxieties around verification.
However, it is specific to mention that creators only. So this is not for business accounts. This is specifically a creator updater feature.
Yeah, so you would need to provide government ID to prove who you are, just like you do on Twitter Blue, just like you do if you're actually notable. So it just hasn't transferred across to business. I imagine if this is successful, it will. It's just the early days. So the verification badge looks exactly the same as someone who is notable. There's no actual way to tell the difference from what we've seen. We've found some people in Australia and New Zealand who had clearly paid for it. We tapped on their About section on the Instagram profile and it brings you to a page, and all it does is tell you the date that they were verified. So that was the biggest tell, but there was no other indicator like Twitter that actually tells you if you were a subscriber to Twitter Blue or if you were notable and verified. So there's no way to tell the difference currently. They have a protection from impersonation via proactive monitoring, which is pretty interesting. That's something that people bring up to us a lot when they're asking us about verification and how it works. So I think that'll be quite helpful. You have access to better support for account issues, which is pretty cool. So, you know, it's not the greatest in the world that it's now paid to access support, but it's going to be a bit of a release for some folks who, you know, want to actually get in touch with Meta and have their pressing questions answered. So that's pretty cool. You get increased visibility and reach. This is interesting.
That's a big one. Yeah, I think that is the most interesting and standout feature. Yeah. Obviously, from a purchasing perspective, that will incline people to buy. But I don't know what that means if a bunch of people start buying it, which is actually an issue I have with Twitter. And I think I mentioned to you one time, I was scrolling through Twitter and it was just a bunch of verified people who I would never be interested in, generally speaking, on my feed, like talking about things that I did not care about. Because I was scrolling through and I'm like, okay, this is annoying. And then I was like, what's happening here? It's like happening really often. And then I realized, I'm like, oh, they're all verified. And it's because they all had Twitter Blue. So what does that mean for business owners and creators on the app who don't have verification? That's going to be interesting to see.
Yes, I really hope it doesn't take over the feed, and I think that they're going to have to mitigate that because that's going to become a large problem. If people's feeds are just filled with folks who have paid for verification, and therefore all the algorithms essentially become redundant. I imagine they've thought about this. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting because Twitter did fail with that, but we also knew that Twitter was trying different things. So
and also Elon's just wilding out over there, so it's also a bit different. I feel like to think that Facebook's a little bit more strategic than Twitter. Hope. So yeah, I think it'd be better and at least would have been thought about, but it's going to be very interesting. So I'm super curious to hear from you guys who are watching. Like, are you going to pay for Meta verification when it becomes available? Let us know in the comments why or why not. I'm just very curious to know like where people are leaning in that direction.
Yes.
Another Instagram update that you should know about is the introduction of lead forms for business accounts. Now this is super interesting because this used to be specifically an ad objective. So basically, it was part of like the sales objectives when you want to generate leads. That was something that was just for ads. So I think it's very cool. I feel like it was also very sneaky, so I don't think it's across all accounts right now. I did go into like a few client accounts to see and they had them, so I'm I'm not sure. But if you don't have it, I'm sure you can hang tight and it'll come. But what this allows you to do is actually cut out a third party potentially. And sorry, my dog is just jumping. Our dog's just jumping. So what this allows you to do is actually cut out the third party apps potentially and use this for lead forms. Or you could do something where you're using it in conjunction. But if it's like something where you don't have the budget right now to actually pay for a lead form software or platform, this could be a good intermediate opportunity as well. And definitely if you want to get more information and learn more about your customers, ask them some multiple choice questions, because there were single answer responses that you could do, and there were also multiple choice questions that will give you some information. And then you can also ask for their name, their email, their phone number. So I really see this in service-based businesses, or when you think about like real estate agents, all of these where leads are really important. You're going to find that when you go to edit your profile, it's the new action button. So there are always other buttons to do things like order food, but now you can actually get a lead as well. So that's super interesting.
Very cool. The next new feature on Instagram that you need to know about is broadcast channels. So this is really interesting. I actually discovered this because one of my friends is an artist in Australia, and I am in his personal Facebook group. I was about to say personal, but this sort of like group of, I didn't even know how he created it, but that group was essentially converted to Instagram, and I had a new tab pop up in my inbox section that said channels, and you tap on the broadcast channels, and essentially it's like a one-way Facebook group. So like in his Facebook group, his fans and people in there can comment and respond and do all that type of stuff. On the broadcast channels, it's just a one-way communication. So essentially it's a brand or an individual that can set up a channel and then essentially just share out messages, whether it's to share posts, information, updates, things for sale, launches, whatever it might be. It's pretty interesting. I'm enjoying watching how he's used it. I mean, he's a musical artist, so it's pretty obvious, tour tickets, merch, new song, watch this video, all that type of stuff. But I'm very curious to see how other businesses end up using it, and I haven't been invited to any other ones just yet. And I'm considering testing it out for some of our other projects. I'm not sure if it would be worthwhile for high season even now.
And we could actually do it because we are a creator account. So something that's important to note is this is a creator feature only. So it won't work if you have a business account. But if you are a business using a creator account for some of the reasons that we've listed before, like you wanted access to popular music, then you'd be able to do that. I think it almost reminds me a bit of pods even in a way, but it's like a one-way pod, because you could actually be like, hey y'all, new post out, I'm talking about XYZ in this post, like check it out or give it a like, all of that stuff. So I think there's opportunities there for like growth or like increased engagement in that way. And then if you have specials or anything like that, like you could add a specific list of people to it who are like insiders, for example. Actually, I can see that us doing something like that. So maybe I can feel like a use case, like have insiders on a list that you give special offers to.
And if you guys are interested in that from high season, this is something we didn't talk about beforehand at all, but if that's something of interest, let us know in the comments, because it could be something that we would be down to do. And even if it's just, hey, you've missed the post, or here's a new video, or whatever it might be, we'd love to see if you guys are keen on that, because that could be something fun.
The next new Instagram feature that you should know about, and this one's all about Reels, is a new recording feature called Gesture Controls. Now, this is super interesting. I like it because in the end, when you're trying to record the reel and you actually only have like the limited amount of time there, then you press record and then you like walk over and you have to do it, and you're lost like 15 seconds. Now you can actually set up your shot and actually gesture to have the video start recording. So Craig was testing this last night. I feel like it was still like a little glitchy, but it was a cool concept that you could even do it, and we'll make sure that you're seeing this on an overlay and B-roll as well.
I'll try again and get a fresh one.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll read the instructions deeper. I remember being able to very easily get it started, but stopping it, I wasn't. And my first thought was, what happens to people who are handsy?
Oh, yeah.
Because we're a little handsy.
Because we're super handsy.
We're keeping it quiet because of the mics.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm so handsy.
I know.
Yeah.
So what happens, does it set it off? So I imagine it's a very wave across the screen or something like that from memory.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think it's a cool idea to bring it in. It just gives creators just another way to control it.
Exactly. And I think it just shows, again, that investment in Reels hasn't ended. So if anyone's telling you that Reels is not, still the one, it's still the one. All right. And I think when we keep seeing these updates and features come through, that'll keep letting us know that's the case.
The next brand new, or relatively brand new, Instagram feature that you need to know about is GIFs. So similar to YouTube or Twitter, I believe as well, does it. you can now give a gift, a financial gift to your favorite creators on Instagram, and they're called stars. So what you can do is actually purchase those stars and then give them as gifts to your favorite creators. So the eligibility to have it, just pulling it up here, so you do need to be over 18 and based in the US. I hope that's just for now. I imagine.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah, just because that happens a lot.
They often test in different markets, so something like this, maybe when it's financial, they test in US. You need to have a professional account. You need to be an active Reels producer, and you need to obviously pass the partner monetization program. So this is for the creator side, to be able to accept gifts. Anybody can purchase them and give them to any creator, but obviously not all creators are able to receive them.
And again, I want to point out, especially because in the end people have creator accounts too, something where Craig just mentioned, you need to be an active Reels user. So again, that's showing you, like you need to be posting consistently in order to take advantage of the monetization opportunities that are not slowing down at all for Instagram right now.
Love to see them expanding it too.
Yeah, it's going to be very cool to see. So we're going to do a lightning round of the other things that you just need to know, because you just need to know them.
Yeah.
But like, we don't need to dive deep in them. They're kind of self-explanatory.
Yes.
So you can get started.
Okay. So the first one is the navigation on Instagram has changed, if you may have seen. So you might have noticed they've taken the Shops tab out of the bottom. It is still up there on the individual profiles. That's still available. And they've put the plus sign back in the middle now, back where it used to be when you want to start a new post.
Create. Because that's their big thing. They want you to create.
Want you to create.
Yeah.
And they're also removing live shopping on the 16th of March, and we're filming it right before then.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting sign, being that they're removing the Shops tab and they're removing live shopping. My guess is that it just didn't pick up enough.
Yeah. It is interesting. It just feels like it's just not as much of a priority as it might have been before.
Yeah.
That's without knowing. It's just that you could just watch how the app moves, and that kind of lets you know the direction that the app's moving in. The next one is quiet mode, and this is going to allow you to actually turn off your notifications and get some peace away from the app. Now, this is not beneficial at all for business owners or creators, because we want people being flooded with our content and messages.
It's true.
But I think from like a personal perspective, it's important, and I do think it's interesting that they've done it in-app now, so it just shows like they're promoting that like balance and like taking time away.
Responsible.
Yeah, for sure.
Another thing you can do now is actually see profile pictures full screen. So if you go into a profile and you just tap the profile picture, now this would be for an account that doesn't have any active stories. It'll just pop up in the screen. So it'll still be circular, and it'll just be much larger in the screen so you can see what's going on. Now, if that account has some active stories, you just hold it for like a second and it'll pop right up.
And then the next update is being able to actually reply in the comments with a GIF. Now, this is fun. Because this Twitterizes things a little bit, you know? I feel like this is going to be super fun. Again, it is not available for everyone, but it's pretty straightforward. You know what that means. It's going to allow you to actually show some additional flair and personality. You can start doing things like reply with a GIF you think is the most accurate. Just cute stuff like that. So I love that they're doing this, because that's the best part of Twitter. And if Twitter is steadily dying, we need those fun features in different places. Maybe it won't die, but, you know, things are looking so great right now. Yeah.
Unpredictable.
Yeah. All right, guys. So those are the new Instagram features and updates that you should know about. Let us know what your favorite feature was in the comment section below, especially how you feel about like verification and Reels, and maybe Shops like kind of being in this like place where it's not on the forefront anymore. Very curious to see how you feel. Thank you so much for coming back to watch another video. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe below, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other videos from us. And check out this video that's going to be presented to you next, because we think it'll be super valuable for you. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Peace.